Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coco in the Sun podcast. I am your host, Malika Critchlow. Very happy to be here today, trying to live more in the flow and more connected to my heart joys and my soul wants. And the knowing of discovering my soul's prosperity and living in it. So today I thought maybe I would review what I took from or learned from the Magdalene Manuscript. I just remember like all the others I kind of reviewed. I didn't review this one. So we finished the book on Monday. And yeah, let's see all my powder, huh? I like powder. Let us just review the book. And as I was going through the book, all the stuff that I highlighted that stood out to me while reading it, I was like, whoa, this is such good stuff. First, I was going to review everything from the three books. Then I realized, oh, this is taking a long time and the podcast would just be absolutely too long. So I am just going to review the Magdalene Manuscript today. Maybe in another podcast, I will review all three books. Yeah. So today, that's just what I'm dealing with. Also, today is August 31st, Independence Day for my country of birth, Trinidad and Tobago. I just wanted to wish Trinidad and Tobago happy independence. And, you know, look at what the motto of Trinidad and Tobago is, which is together we aspire, together we achieve. And some lyrics from our national anthem, which is every creed and place find an equal place. I think these two phrases are integral for me for the dream, the vision that was placed for Trinidad and Tobago by its forefathers, like Dr. Eric Williams. And I think the dream was placed, the seed was planted, to be nurtured and to bloom. And I think we need to remember that and try to do that in our daily lives. We need to try to follow our heart joys in order to get to our dreams, to achieve our dreams, aspire to our dreams. But also if we can, because it says together we aspire, together we achieve. So as many of us as can, I would like to say all of us, should work towards or love towards or joy towards aspiring our dreams and achieving the dreams. And if we can help others do the same for their dreams, do so, and to treat everyone equally, to not look at class or color or colorism, and try to not stereotype others from where they live, right? What school they went to, and just see the beauty in each other. I know right now it's kind of rough. I think the country is evolving. It's a young country. We're only 62 years old. And, we have all these other great nations that have their own turmoil that are over hundreds of years old, right? We're only 62. So of course there's some grace there and some given the country the space to develop and to go through its growing pains, right? And so now we have a little bit of not a little bit, we have some crime, some violence that's being shown as a result of greed that is occurring, and not everyone probably getting all they need and having to resort to other ways of finding it or other ways of numbing living in a daily life, i.e. drugs. And not being able to see the humanity in each other. But I do think this is a part of our evolution that we do have to, or the country, because I don't live there anymore, although I like to see it because I feel like actually always like Trinidad is in my heart, is in my core, I just want the best for the country. And so yeah, I think like we just have to see these aspects of ourselves and love it into light in order to transmute it and evolve from this space. But maybe we do need to see who we are in this space first before we can decide that we don't want to be here ever again. So just trusting that process. So wishing everyone love and peace and harmony, you know, and I just hope that we can get past this this rough period. It's not all rough because Trinidad is like good food, family, beautiful places, so it's never one thing, right? There's pros and there's cons always. It's never all one thing. But this is a little rough patch. And yeah, we're seeing who we are in terms of greed. We're seeing who we are in terms of lack. We're seeing who we are when everyone's not treated equally, when everybody's dream isn't a priority. But also, you have to work for your dream, and you have to step into the light, and you have to step into the wisdom and not the ignorance, and not fall into quick resources instead of solid resources. Not doing things as well because you're following behind people, or you're telling yourself you could never make it one way, you can't make it with your dream, so you're gonna do this instead. Now we can't. You have a responsibility to follow the light of your soul, the love of your soul, what you love to do, and see where that goes. But there are some aspects of greed there that could be preventing resources from getting to all in order for that to occur. So all of that is going on. Everybody have their part to play, and everybody have to look at how they are contributing to the growth of the country. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at, I'm living out here, but how can I assist? What am I doing um to help? Don't know what to do yet. I mean, I just I pray a lot for the country and for peace and for everybody to live in their joy. But I mean, like Anna, which is a beautiful thing, and it could manifest physically in reality, yes. But also ways in which I can help in terms of, you know, in this time and space, right? So haven't gotten the answers yet, but it is on my heart. It's been on my heart for years. Sometimes I try to look away from Trinidad because it's so interwoven in my soul that everything that happens there affects me on a deep level. And I'm not there anymore, right? And there's not much I can do from here. So I do try sometimes to look away, but I can never look away for very long because my heart is there. It's there. It's there. It's there. This morning I thought about when I was little and walking up Chadwick Road to see the Independence Day parade and waiting for the police band, because they're usually the last to come up in the Independence Day parade, and they have the best music as they go down to the St. James Bar. I remember my dad and my aunt taking me in tour of every Independence Day. Like we wanted up to Chadwick Road, the band coming. The parade coming, they come in, and we can hear it. And they're no longer with us. This was like a core memory for me. I am 46 years old, and I still remember all those days of going to see the parade up on Chadwick Road. It's like I grew up in Woodbrook. And I'll never have that experience with my dad and my aunt again. And they were so integral to my childhood, you know. So I miss Trinidad immeasurably. As cantankerous as it could be sometimes, and things that could be said. I mean, Trinis will say whatever, they have no filter. Um, but also the sweetest, most loving, most sharing, most kind, most giving. love a good time and a good laugh and good food and enlightenment. So, so many aspects to being Trinidadian. I miss it. I miss it. I even miss the cantankerous, malicious moving lang talk, all the old talk, you know. I miss it. I miss home, man. I need to go. I haven't been home in about 5 years. I think I need to go spend some time there, like a good few months, maybe 3 to 6 months. And soak it in. Anyway, so happy independence to the magnificent country of Trinidad and Tobago. You might be small, but you are mighty. And the seeds that are sown, the dreams, the visions for the country really are visions for the world. Because together, if the world were together to achieve its dreams together, we get there. If everybody can find an equal place in this world, what a beautiful place it could be. And I think it will be. I think we're going to get there. I think we're on the way there. It may not look so, it looks like we're seeing a lot of not so good parts of ourselves, but I think we have to see that. We have to know who we are. We need to see it and love it and understand it, and understand why it's occurring and what caused it and how we can, yeah, love it back into wholeness and fullness and take the wisdom, but leave the trauma to build a society that's more enjoyable for all and not just some and not just a few. And, not just the violent or not just the bullies, but all, 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 all our dreams come true. As long as they don't harm anybody, you know. So yeah. Anyways, I digress because we are supposed to be talking about my review of Mary the Magdalene Manuscript. This was such a great book. Like, I know I'm going to read it over and over. Like, those 3 books that I read, other books, but I just don't feel called to read them on this podcast. I don't know why. But these 3, when I look at the succession of them, the Palladians, the Hathors, and then closing with the Magdalene Manuscript, to me, was a nice overview. Like the Palladians was giving us like a kindergarten understanding of how it all works, like a story. And then the Hathors came in with more scientific aspect. And then Mary Magdalene came in with a more human aspect, more relevant to our being. And I just love how it played out. So I trust my guides and my angels that took me through these 3 books, and I'm trusting that they have something else that will complement what's been done so far. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so as I review it, y'all, did you know on the iPhone, I changed the font size and I bolded the words? And now I am loving my phone. Oh my God, it was such a struggle sometimes to read what was on there. Now everything is easier to read. I know that my eyes are going through some changes, but I was just so happy about it. But I could read it. Okay, so we're going to start with the review. Wait, let me get something. I'm so excited to do this review. Okay. Having some lemonade. I love a good lemonade. Okay, so let's see. Mary Magdalene. So the first thing that I highlighted and thought was she was not a whore, but a clear vessel for the healing and nurturing powers of Isis herself. Okay. The Roman Catholic Church, I think in the 1600s, Pope Gregory, I believe was his name, combined her with another Mary in the book and said that she was a whore. And she clarified here that she was not a whore, but she was a clear vessel for healing and nurturing powers of Isis herself. I would like to add here at one time in one of my dream wake states, she did clarify to me that even though that she was not a whore, and that truth needed to be known, that if she were a whore, she would not have been any less loved, that there was no less value, that everyone holds value. Okay? Just wanted to say that. Also, so then she also clarifies Mother Mary was a vessel of Isis as an incarnate and was a highly developed master herself, Jesus's mother. She said that the cause body, so they call the car body, it's the spirit body is called the car body. The car body's embodiment and acquirement of greater energy and light increases one's magnetic field and desires quickly manifest. So as your spirit body acquires greater energy and light, this increases its magnetic fields. It draws to it what it desires. How do you increase the car body energy and light? You do things that bring you ecstasy and bliss. And then you think about your car body being enlightened. Okay? So she's going to talk specifically about ecstasy from orgasm and how that helps build the car body. But I think the orgasm one is a lot of good energy if we can, you know, harness it to the spirit body. And then it increases the energy of the car body, and then your magnetic field increases and your desires come to you a lot quicker. Gotta find your bliss. You gotta find your joy. And if you find it in orgasm with a sacred partner, we will clarify the partners. Okay, we go ahead. So then they clarify the types of bodies. The cat body is the physical body, Khat. The car is the spiritual etheric body, and it is the physical twin. It looks like a physical body, but it's not solid. It's light, it's spirit. And then they have the the BA, which is the celestial soul. It says, as you surrender to your own soul, you generally change focus more into the higher capabilities of yourself. You don't really focus as much on your physical desires, but they're not abandoned. So it's just not the main, as you surrender more to your soul, you kind of focus more on your soul prosperity is how I like to think about it, your higher capabilities. Being more love, enjoying every moment, being in a blissful state, maybe your clairs and your spiritual gifts and healing and those type of things take the forefront. So your physical desires are not abandoned, but they're not focused on as much by you because you're looking at how you can evolve, how your consciousness can reach higher levels as you surrender more to your soul. But they're not abandoned. And because your car body is increasing its light and energy and its magnetic field, your physical desires will come to you quicker. They talk about the ureus. They said ureus is often a blue fire that expands up the spine laterally and horizontally. It increases the brain's potential for intelligence, creativity, and receptivity. Most importantly, receptivity, to be able to receive the information and understand it and I guess integrate it. I really like the aspect of the ureus and the blue fire because I have been getting dreams of blue divine light. Blue divine healing light is the feeling I get from it. It's really beautiful. Although last night I was seeing some white lights. So the light changed a little bit, but I think there's different things they're sharing with you. I don't know. But I really like the ureus thought of it. The task of the initiate is to change the quality of one's being so that attunement to the celestial soul is clear and unobstructed. So you want to have a clearer communication with what your soul guidance is. Your communication or your attunement to what the soul wants to do is clear and unobstructed. So that's the task. The task is to clear blocks so you can attune to what the soul wants to do in this lifetime. Guess what? It's going to bring you more joy because it's what you really want to do, because it's what your heart want to do. That's what your soul want to do. Sometimes it's scary though. I can imagine for Jesus it would have been scary. It's his task. That was a rough one, if there ever was one. So sometimes it is scary, but if it's what we're meant to do, it's what brings us joy, I think. I'm trying to do that right now. Clear that to clear and have it unobstructed so I can hear the guidance as to what to do. The sexual magic of Isis changes the car body with tremendous magnetic force through the power of physical orgasm. Sexual orgasm releases magnetic energy within the cells. As this energy spreads, it releases a magnetic potential that can be used. It can be used by the car to increase its energy and light, and by extensions, its magnetic field. Okay. When Mary Magdalene joined with Yeshua, many of the pathways to open herself were spontaneously opening in his presence. Open herself, I believe, to the guidance of her soul, to her celestial soul. Ka is strengthened by ecstasy and attracts your desires. The Ka, the energy body, the spirit body, is strengthened by ecstasy and bliss. Do things you love to do. It's not always easy because resources may be limited. But isn't that a good thing though? A good hunt to be on, to find things that bring you bliss? That's a great thing. Find things that bring you bliss, ecstasy, joy. Sex magic of Isis. In the sex magic of Isis, the feminine initiate uses magnetic energies to open deeper levels of consciousness by surrendering to the sexual energies and pathways that are opened. And then I have page 37, the love and adoration of the feminine. So let me see what I have written, highlighted here. Okay. I'm going to read the whole section so you can hear it. When Yeshua and I made love, as you call it, we caused. That's not where I want to start. At the same time, during this moment of sexual ecstasy, we place our awareness fully within our car bodies, for the car is strengthened by ecstasy. Ecstatic states are nourishing and strengthening to the car body. And as I said earlier, with each strengthening of the car, it becomes more magnetic, drawing to the initiate that which he or she desires. The sexual magic of Isis has to do with the innate ability of the feminine being to utilize magnetic energies to open deeper levels of consciousness through the act of surrendering to the sexual energies and pathways that are good, that are opened, sorry. When a woman is deeply loved and appreciated, as I was by Yeshua, something lets go at the deepest level of herself. And at the moment of orgasm, there is an uncontrollable shuddering that takes place. If she feels safe and allows this shaking, this quivering to overtake her, there is a tremendous magnetic vortex that opens the center of which is in her womb. Two initiates engaged in the sexual magic of Isis can strengthen themselves rapidly and expand their consciousness through the power of this magnetic field. So the woman has to be adored and feel safe in order for these magnetic forces to be released. For Yeshua, each union with Mary Magdalene strengthened his car. And when I say union, I mean sexual union. The well that the woman initiate offers to the male is an endless well of magnetic potential. This is only opened when the female feels safe and loved. Practice without the nurturance of love becomes just techniques and will not give the result required or desired. Within the heart and mind and body wisdom of the feminine lie some of the greatest secrets and powers, and all of it is laid open by the touch of another. I love it. Initiates oscillate between the strength and conviction of his or her connection to the spirit source, and then to the state of mind in which they realize that they are nothing and can do nothing without spirit. So it's omnipotence, again, oscillating with impotence. You go back and forth, there's uncertainty there. For Yeshua, it was the odd thing being an initiate. One is human with all that goes with it, and one is increasingly connected to and a part of one's celestial soul and the pressure it brings to live out what the celestial soul wants to live out. So it's not always easy. There's always some uncertainty there. And sometimes the mission is a hard one. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes even finding out what it is the soul wants to do. Yeshua saw in others the potential for God realization, and he spoke to this several times. Page 45. For he understood that miracles are a natural expression of consciousness, and that as the consciousness of mankind expanded, miracles would be commonplace. The simple teaching of Yeshua was that we are all gods, that we all have within us the power to love and to heal. He demonstrated that the best that he could. Okay, so now we're going to talk about sacred union. In sacred union, magnetics are created with foreplay. The sexual energy created elevates the car body. The female must feel authentically safe and loved, or appreciation at the very least. This allows something within her being to let go and allows the alchemy to occur. The initiate must become aware of the car body during moments of ecstasy, so that the car can partake of the rich magnetic fields created by such bliss, so that it can build its energy and create a greater magnetic field for itself and draw to itself its desires, but also more increase its consciousness, elevate its consciousness. Right after orgasm, the male initiate must train himself to nest. That means to lay in a loving way with the female initiate. She clarifies it doesn't mean that his sexual organ has to remain within the female, but he has to lay with her. And this can be for 2 or 3 hours after, because after 2 or 3 hours after the female initiate orgasms, she's still sending out magnetic fields and waves that they both can benefit from, their car bodies can benefit from and get nourished and built up by. So right after the orgasms, the male initiate must train himself to nest to allow the magnetics that have been created to spiral into his car and his physical body. His car body becomes stronger. Adoration of the beloved from both partners intensifies the alchemy of the sex magic. It intensifies the energy, it intensifies the magnetic fields created. So the car body is nourished more. Okay, that means that consciousness can be elevated more quickly and at a high level. Sacred relationships elevate consciousness. The purpose of alchemy is to transform one substance to another by burning off the negativity of a substance so that the pure substance remains or is created. Difficult psychological material will surface in an effort by the car body to extrude or press out of itself impurities to clear itself of all obstacles of life. So when you are in sacred relationship and in sacred union, and if you are following the practices of the sex and the orgasm and the nesting, the loving, the adoration of each other, you building that energy for the car body, then the car body is going to want to start getting rid of things that are blocking you from flight or blocking you from elevating your consciousness. This would be things like traumas or behaviors or defense mechanisms, ways of thinking that are holding you back, perspectives that are not positive for your growth and your expansion. So that'll start to come to the surface. A lot of people think then they must be doing it wrong, but that is actually doing it correct. It's coming to the surface so it can be burnt off, transmuted to light and love. It can be seen and witnessed, and it can come to awareness. Shame is a toxic element in the car body that decreases its vitality and potency. So don't waste time feeling bad or ashamed of your behavior. They were all outcomes based on things you experienced or saw, or you thought it was the best way to move through life. Now you know better, you do better, but you don't need to be ashamed about it. Just love yourself through it. Shame doesn't help anything. And the male needs to be able to nest, and the female needs to be able to surrender. And in sacred relationship demands the utter and complete honesty. So not only in the physical union of the sex, I'm trying to find 179. Not just the physical union of the sex. When these psychological difficulties come up, you have to let your partner see it and be honest with how you're feeling, whether it's insecurities, fears, or just petty behaviors, spiteful behaviors. Let them know how you're feeling. So I'm going to read this part that Tom Kenyon writes, and he says, "Let me be very upfront here. Sacred relationship is not for everyone. In fact, I suspect there are far fewer persons capable or even willing to undertake it than there are those who prefer to play emotional card games. This type of relationship demands utmost honesty, both with oneself and with one's partner. Instead of hiding our cards, we lay them all out on the table. All our hopes, all our fears, all our petty and jealous thoughts, all of our connivings. All of it is laid out in the clear light of awareness for our partner to see, and he or she must do the same. It will not work if there is a back door unlocked with mental escape in mind. It will not work if both partners are not absolutely impeccably honest with each other. And the reason for this radical type of honesty is that without it, the alchemy of relationship does not take place. So that's the last thing I highlighted. So what we learned was Mary Magdalene was not a whore. She was a sacred vessel for Isis, a sacred vessel of the healing and love of Isis, healing and nurturing powers of Isis. We learned that Mother Mary was an incarnate aspect of Isis, and she was a master in her own right. We learned that Yeshua built his car body in order to be able to do what he had to do from his union with Mary Magdalene, through they call it the sexual magic of Isis, but through loving sexual union and orgasm and focusing those energies on their spirit bodies in honesty and integrity and in love and adoration for each other, they both were able to elevate their consciousness, and also as a side effect, increase their desires, their physical desires, to come to them in a quicker manner. But this sexual union allowed for ecstasy and bliss, and this ecstasy and bliss creates the magnetic fields necessary to nourish the car body of energy and light, in a great magnified way, so that he could have done what he had to do and she could have done what she had to do too. But his journey seemed to be very, very much needed for mankind to see how to move forward. We know that he thought that regular humans, have the ability to come into God realization of themselves, and they all have this power to be love and to heal. That's what Yeshua thought. Also, we know that there were periods of uncertainty with anyone, and including Yeshua, of being human, but also connecting with your celestial soul. The goal of the initiate is to connect and clear obstacles to the attunement with the celestial soul. So they want the human to be attuned to its soul aspect so it can live its fullest life. It can do what it needs to do, what will bring it the most joy. And I'm playing with this joy word because I think it does bring us humans, but I wonder, because I look at Jesus' mission, I was like, that's such a hard mission. But I'm sure he had a lot of joy before. So I think our soul missions are things we want to do. I suspect. I'm still in the process of attuning to what my soul wants to do, so I can't say that for 100% yet. I'm still in the process of this. I saw a video the other day with one of the guys I really like, John of New, and he says, stop being in the process and just be what it is you want to be. So I'm playing with that too. Anyway, so we know that that's what we want, to build a car body so we can elevate consciousness. The initiate's job really, or the main task of the initiate, is to attune to one's soul, so it can clear obstacles and attune more with the soul and do what will bring it the most fulfillment. The building the spiritual energy of the car, and the magnetic field of the car helps with this. You do so through ecstasy and through sexual orgasm and focusing on the car body. Once that starts to feed the car and the car gets nourished and builds its light and magnetic field, it also not only increases levels of consciousness, it does so by bringing up to the surface psychological difficulties that we may have buried within us, that has to do with our past traumas that we need to clear so that we can tune more with our soul. And so as those psychological difficulties come through, as the car builds its energy and starts to press out impurities so it can be its purest form, as those things come to the surface, we need to be honest and clear with our partners, utterly honest about these psychological difficulties or impurities, trauma, self-defense mechanisms, feelings, pettiness, insecurities, whereas we have to share it honestly, all of it with our partners. It has to be brought to light into awareness so it can be healed and cleared so you can attune more with your soul. I think the whole process sounds quite beautiful and fun. Not all fun. I mean, but the sex magic is fun, right? They call it sex magic, but it's sex and using the energies and the ecstasy from sex to build your car body. And this cannot occur without there being love and adoration with each other. And the female cannot open up without there being love and safety. I just think the whole thing is so perfectly developed, right? There has to be love and adoration and safety in order for the female to unlock, for there to be the orgasm, for the orgasm to occur, to have the energy and magnetic fields to feed the spirit body in order to receive it after there is sexual orgasm and um thought brought to the car body. They have to nest with each other, and the book says that for about 2 to 3 hours the woman is still having these magnetic fields, still giving off these magnetic fields that can actually build a car body. And so once this is done, once this is happening, the car body now starts to increase its energy and magnetic field, and the consciousness level starts to increase. You also start attracting more of your physical desires into your life. At the same time, physical, psychological difficulties come to the surface, and you need to be honest with your partner and bring it to light, no matter how petty, insecure, or trivial you think it is. You have to bring it to light because it needs to clear in order for you to be your best self and be attuned with your soul, which should give you, I think, your best life experience. I don't have a secret partner yet, but I would like to try this and see how it works. But anyway, so that's the review of the Mary Magdalene book. I don't know if I explained it clearly enough for you. If not, please get the book, The Magdalene Manuscript by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion. It was a great read, and this is a book I'm going to keep for a very long time, if not forever, because I think every time you read it, you're going to get something else from it. You're going to learn something else from it. And it gives you a beautiful step-by-step option to improve your soul connection, your consciousness elevation, your relationship with your sacred partner, and your life as a whole, I think. If I had a partner, I'd really be trying this. Now, they have a method that you can use if you are single, so that you can create the energy yourself. It's a little more work. I would rather do this with a partner. So I know a partner must come into my life at some point for me to try it. I am knowing this. Anyways, so that's it for today. I don't have anything else. I don't know when next I'm going to do a podcast. Maybe the podcast may slow down a little bit, because I'm starting a new little work contract for a few months. We'll see how that goes, if I can still do 1 or 2 on the weekend or not. I do love doing it, but I haven't been given any guidance or nudges into any books or any podcasts, titles, any direction to go with it that's different. So I don't know, it feels like it's going to be in a state of rest. But if not, if it's not a state of rest, I'll be happy because I love doing it. It would be so great if I could have a blissful career as a podcaster and blissful success as a podcaster. That would be absolutely something I would enjoy experiencing and learning from and finding out if it is one of my heart's joys. Anyways, so have a great day. It's the weekend. Have a great weekend. I hope you get rest. I hope you know you are loved, that you are loved, and you take time with yourself, that you're gentle with yourself, that you listen to what the self wants to do. You know, follow your joys, what feels good to you. That appears to be the path. I think we got a lot of information in our dreams. Usually I find the first set of dreaming, I don't remember, but if I get up in the night, sometimes you get up at 3 a.m. or you get up at 5 a.m. and go back to sleep, but it's because you have to use the bathroom or you were woken up for whatever reason. When you go back to sleep, usually that space of time after getting up and going back to sleep, I remember those dreams. And usually at that time, they are telling me things that I need to know for my own unfolding. Things about myself that I may have known in the background, but weren't so clear to identify. Things that I need to love on and look at and pay attention to and try to take notice of in order to alleviate it or improve it so that my whole life improves. So I don't know about you, but for me, right now I have 3 things that I do. Self-love, which is listening to myself, my body, my mind, my emotions, my feelings, telling me if something is something I like, something I don't like, and not dismissing or suppressing it. The second thing I do is following my heart joys. If something giving me joy there, I want to be there. If it's not giving me joy, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be there. And I will express this if need be to others in love, but it will still be expressed. If I get invited somewhere I don't want to go and I'm feeling bad, they wouldn't like me if I don't go, I'll say, I do not think I'll find joy going there, but I thank you so much for including me, and I would like to do something else. These are other things I enjoy doing. Do you like to do that too? So yeah, self-love, following heart's joys, and then paying attention to my dreams. And I know that I remember my dreams more if I wake up and go back to sleep. So usually I am woken up. I saw somewhere where they said if you want to, you can like set an alarm half an hour before you're supposed to get up and go back to sleep, and you'll remember what happened in that half an hour. And those dreams will be giving you information on how to improve your life and what you need to heal, what you need to do. I don't really have to set an alarm. I think naturally I wake up at some point, whether between 3 and 5 a.m., and then I go back to sleep. And usually I get information then. It's not every night I remember, though. I will say that. Sometimes I no dream. Like the night before, I don't remember much in the dream. But last night I remember the dream. What I got. I don't know, I got some white light. Whatever that was. It feel good. It feel good. I've gotten golden light, like golden yellow light before. I know I was getting the blue light. Now I'm into white light. I don't know what they're doing, what's healing, what's coming in, but I know I like when I get a light in the dream. It feels good. It feels so good in the dream. Anyways, have a great Saturday and weekend, guys. I don't know what next week will hold for the podcast. So if this is bye for some time, please take time with yourself. Just love yourself and be gentle with yourself. You are love in your truest form. You're either trying to find the love or you're feeling the lack of love and displaying that because you want it. And in any way it's coming true, you are love. And you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. And if you can't find nobody in the external because you're still looking external for love, don't do that. Go inside and love. Go inside and love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. You have value. It don't matter what you look like, what you sound like, what you can do, what you can't do, what you can give people, what you can't give people. You are love. Just love yourself just as you are. If you have nothing in this world, you still have value. Love yourself. Love yourself. Let me tell you, this journey here, the past, what I call the pregnant pause. Listen, they let me know. They take me to to all the reasons I thought I should be loved and all the value I had, and they say, you're not that. And guess what? You still have value and you are still loved. You understand? So those fears can be eradicated So those fears can be transmuted to love. There's nothing to fear there. If you never do this, and if you never add this again, you're still loved because you love yourself. Anyways, well, not just you love yourself, all aspects of yourself, love yourself, because you know you'll find out you have a soul team and they love you and they want you to have the best life. I find like they just work things out in perfect. The thing about it is most of the times you don't get like way ahead of what's going to happen. What they want you to do is trust me. I have you. Trust me. Trust me. Have faith. Trust me. Then I'm gonna say, yeah, you're gonna be struggling for a few months, but you're gonna get a job in this month. But don't worry, all that months when you're struggling, you will still be okay. They don't tell you that. They want you to trust and know you will be. Just trust and know. And just let it unravel and let it reveal itself. And then you don't worry again ever again. You won't have those worries ever again because you know you was down to the bottom of the barrel and you was still okay and you was still loved and it was still perfectly timed and the best opportunities came for you. The journey I enjoy the journey. If anything, it have its highs, it has its lows. But if anything, boy, you're never bored, right? There's always something new to learn or to strengthen or to clear or to understand about yourself. There's so much about myself that I am learning that I did not know. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. That really is yourself. The journey really is a journey to yourself. It's really a journey to all aspects of your being and discovering things that are good about and things that are not so good about yourself and things that you will enjoy and things that you won't enjoy and things that you're going to be but you're not yet but letting you know you have this potential and more and connecting more with your soul and your divine team. I mean, that is fun in itself, right? When you see a synchronicity or you get a thought out of nowhere that give you an understanding. I had so many thoughts. The thoughts are so beautiful. It's hard to explain what y'all thinking I'm like weird or whatever. But like, okay, I would tell y'all, right? So I had a thought about how I don't even know if I can explain it properly. How consciousness or awareness, right? Expanded or pulsed and expanded out to all these beautiful different aspects of creation, right? And if source is all creation, then and all creation is always learning and evolving, then source is always learning and evolving. Therefore, it's infinite because it's always learning something new from a different perspective. So it's growing more as even this second is growing more, it's getting bigger. It's infinite, right? But so it parts and it expanded also to experience itself, but to experience loving itself, right? From different angles, from different places, from different forms, from different beings and different universes, right? And then this experience of wanting to experience love brings it back into its oneness. So once you learn to love yourself and by extension love others, and then that expands to others and others and others and galaxies and universes, then you come back into the oneness of one. So then pulse again and do it again and see like a breath in and out, in and out. And then it took me another mind trip and it says, so it's contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. And that's how your heart beats, contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. The heart has all the information for all aspects of your physical being because blood flows in every aspect of your being and has to go through the heart to be oxygenated from the lungs to then send back the nutrients to all aspects of your body. But that was another understanding, right? So the heart beats like this: expansion, contraction. You breathe in that way, right? Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. Everything is contraction and expansion, right? Contraction and expansion is what life is what creation is. Creation is life, life is creation. Even when a baby is born, it contractions and expands and extracts and expands for the baby to move out of the mother's womb. Okay. So I got that understanding, right? And then I was like, but wait, my definition of contraction and expansion, of what is contracting and expanding, again, is perspective. So like in the breath, I would say it's inhaling, it's contracting back to itself because it's bringing in oil to then expand and let it out. But I can also look at it as the body is taking it all in and the body's expanding and contraction to let it all out. So the contraction and expansion could also switch and be considered differently. It's all about listen, man. So all can, and so that just led to all things can be true, depending on the perspective you're in and the beliefs that you hold. That somebody can have a different perspective to you, and though it may not be true in your life, in your reality, it's true in theirs. So you can allow for that being true, an aspect of truth, just not an aspect of truth that your perspective is at right now. Anyway, let me tell you, I don't even know if I explained it properly because it's like I understand in my head, but I can't explain it. And that's what I asked for. I've been asking to speak the language of love more fluently in a simple way so that I can express myself and be loved to as many people as I can in a way that they understand. I don't want all the big words, hyper, all this special words and definitions. I want to talk to everybody in the simplest way that they can understand so I can have these conversations and share love and joy and laughter and good food and nourishment and nurturing and freedom. Anyways, I also find that at this stage, I prefer to be given my own understandings and my own visuals and meditation visuals than to follow other people's imaginations. But I don't know if they actually work. And then even that I don't know thing, I'm like, I manipulate it and say, to know is to know and just be nonchalant about it and not worry about it. And that if you don't know, knowing is stepping into your godhood. So the fact that I don't know if my own imaginations and my own meditations and visualizations is best for me to live the life that I want in the most enjoyable way for me is not being fully in my God realization, right? Still not knowing that. So when I don't know it, I don't know. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. Anyways, I don't know what next we will talk, but I wish we could talk more. I like talking to all of you. Myself, really. It's me I'm talking to. Anyways, have a great weekend, guys. I'll go on now for sure. Okay, bye.